How do you trace PNG files? So I'm going to show you how I trace and add cut lines to a PNG file. I have never done this one before, so let's see. This is a hand-drawn file. I'm going to pull it off so you can see that it does not have a background. It's transparent. So I go down to image trace. You can also open up image trace from your window and select image trace. I'm going to hit preset and select the first option and let it trace the image. Then I'm going to go to view and I want to see it traced with the outlines. So here we go. I can see that it did trace pretty well for a hand-drawn clip art. I'm going to go down to image trace and hit expand, object, ungroup, and I'm going to remove the white background. So pretty much this is great. Usually I will go in and I will clean up any of the extra. This is a hand-drawn design, so it will have some outlines that you may not want on there. If this is going on a white t-shirt, I really wouldn't care too much about this, but it's always good to go in and clean up your PNG. And you can go around. I'm not too worried about it. I like that this is a hand-drawn design. So I am going to go and select this white here inside the broom. I'm going to remove the fill and I'm going to put a stroke with the cut contour on it, just so that when the printer cuts the design, it cuts out that little piece inside of the broom and the cat's tail. You could also easily just cut it out with an X-Acto knife after you print. So basically the design is traced. The clip art is traced. I'm going to label this layer artwork, and then I'm going to duplicate the layer twice. So I'll have my artwork, my second duplicate will be my bleed line, and my third will be my cut line. So I'm going to go ahead and lock my cut line and my artwork. I like to add a bleed along all of my designs just because sometimes the printing's cut can be a little off. I use a Roland BN20 and sometimes the calibration is just weird, and to save me time and to keep with my production, I add a simple bleed here. So I'm going to go to object, path, offset path, and my bleed is usually 0.03. And I don't really care what the color of the bleed is, but if I hide the first two layers, this is the bleed here. I'm going to lock the bleed line and unlock my cut line. I'm going to select everything, and now I am adding on the cut line so that my eco-solvent printer will cut out the design, and all I have to do is weed, transfer it onto transfer paper, and then press it. Sometimes with PNGs, you see all of these little dots in here, you'll have to remove it. So what I like to do is I like to ungroup, and that's just right clicking, control click if you're on a Mac and Apple. So now I'm going to select the design and I'm going to isolate it, so just double clicking it. I am selecting everything, and then I am going to shift and tap on the outline. So now it will just have all of those tiny cuts selected versus the full outline of the cat, the pumpkin, and the broom. So once I delete that, the only thing the printer will cut is the outline, which I want it to do. I don't want the printer to put all of those tiny little cuts inside of my cat design. I did see that the bats had some as well. So what you're going to do is isolate selected compound path. Sorry, I'm going to select all of that because I want to get all of those tiny dots in there. Shift and hit the outer outline, the line that you want. You're going to deselect that and then delete the tiny cuts. And if you have a design you'll probably like that you'll print often, you only have to do this once. So you can keep it on there. Just going to take your printer. If you have a BN20, it'll take it a while to print all of those tiny little cuts. So I like to take them out to clean up the file. This is a clip art design. It's a hand-drawn one, so the higher quality PNG, you really won't have to do that, but sometimes you will. Just wanted to show you in case you did. So I'm going to select the overall design, and I want to take away the fill. And then I'm going to add the stroke. With the BN20, you use the pink cut contour. I'm going to go to my properties, and I'm going to make that stroke 0.25 because that's how my printer is set up, and I'm pretty sure that's how most BN20s are set up. And this here has all of what you need. Send it to the printer and you're good to go.